and how to talk with AI chatbots. So we have a lot of AI chatbots available to us, and we have a lot of different choices from paid services, unpaid services, Indian native services to outside world services. Many chatbot services are available. Gemini is there, and OpenAI based chatbots are there. ChatGPT is there, and DeepSeek chatbots are there. Okay, Servam AI kind of chatbots are there. So there are a lot of chatbots available, and I'm not going to go into the details of that. But if, as a user of a chatbot, I don't know how to talk with the chatbot, I will not be getting perfect answers from it, or useful answers, or useful kind of insights from the chatbots. So I need to understand something called as how to give prompts properly to a chatbot. So whatever we deliver to chatbot as our question, generally it is referred to as a prompt. That's the starting point where the generative AI models behind the scene start their activities from. So they are already a learned model behind the scene. We give this prompt to that learned model. The model predicts the output depending on our need, and then we get the answer from the chatbot. So this is how the general notion of a chatbot works. So it is very much important to have a chatbot prompt properly created. Then only it will be an effective solution to be used in some sort of practice. So learning about prompts and prompts engineering is what is the focus of module number 4. So they actually give you with example, tell you with examples, what is the value of prompt engineering. Why should I learn prompt engineering? Okay, structuring a large language model prompt element. So for a large language model, if we want to give a prompt, how do we structure the prompt? How do we write the prompt properly in order that the large language model will effectively give us a better solution compared to some haphazard question, just like what we ask our peers. Okay, so that is what we actually are going to learn in here. And then there is an activity, structuring an effective prompt. So there we will be learning about how an effectively written prompt can give you better results when we try to converse with a chatbot. Okay, then structuring a large language model prompt, its organization, what are the elements of the prompt and how do I organize it. Okay, what are different prompting techniques. Okay, risk of adverse prompt, what happens if I give adverse prompt. Okay, and how does Amazon Bedrock provides certain feature to you as a user of that service to make your prompts more properly engineered. So that is what the overall structure of this particular module is. So we generally talk about prompts, prompt engineering, that is what is a prompt, what are contents inside the prompt. When I want to talk with ChatGPT, then we need to understand, if I want to organize a prompt, how these elements need to be strung together so that the prompt becomes an effective prompt and it provides best possible outcome from the given language model or a large language model. So now the word language model that I was using and the word used over here, large language model, it differs only in an aspect that these large language models are actually very large in terms of their sizes, in terms of what they know and what they store as the zipped information, as I told you. Okay, so when I say language model, it can be a very small thing focused on a very small area of application. Okay, specific area of application. When I talk about large language model, they are mostly generic. They are not focused on a specific area, but a wide variety of information is being concisely represented using some sort of a vector space model. So we have probabilistic vector space models which are focused on nearly most of the areas that people use language models for. Okay, so they're trained, you can say, on large set of aspects which will most probably be required by the customers of those large language models. You know that when you are using large language models today, when you are using ChatGPT, when you are using Gemini, what you do is you ask them varied questions. One day you ask them certain legal advice, the other day you can ask them what is the head-to-head encounters between New Zealand and India, how they fare with each other. You can ask them why the war has started in Middle East right now. You could ask them what is the uh, health benefit in eating this particular dish that my mother has prepared. Or the other day, actually, my printer was not working properly in the college. It was giving a very rogue kind of printing, and it was very specifically, I thought that the problem was with the physical printing activities, the head of the printer or something. What I did is I took a picture of the output that the printer produced, gave it to Gemini and asked it, this is the output that has been produced by this kind of a printer. Can you suggest me what could have gone wrong? Personally feel that there is a problem with the physical head organization, the configuration of the head. But what it prompted me was surprisingly that it prompted me to a configuration setting in the software, and when I did that configuration setting in the software, the thing started printing properly. So you can actually ask varied things which are in general and which are not specifically focused on a specific task. So that's the difference between once I say something is a language model and something is a large language model. So the focus changes from a very narrow application area to a very wide application area when it comes to large language model. Okay, so let us quickly go to module number 4. I know I'm eating a lot of time as well. So this module number 5, okay, this is about working with foundation model. Now if I want to actually get a foundation model, so foundation models are the existing models developed by peer teams. Many of them are open source, many of them are closed source. Those which are open source, I can actually use them further for improving them. So if I'm targeting towards improving the foundation model itself to be applied to a specific area of application, then this particular module is going to help me. We are going to talk about services under AWS, which allows me, okay, to adapt a foundation model to a specific task or application at hand, okay, so that it now is fine-tuned to perform that particular task. Okay, that is what we are going to learn here in this particular chapter. So we focus now on what is foundation model, then what we need to consider when we want to choose and adapt a foundation model. Because as we understand, these foundation models are large, they require a lot of space, and when I want them to be adapted, I want them to be trained further, okay, and for that particular thing I require a lot of computational resource, which is of high cost, because the model itself is very large, the amount of data requirement is also large. Okay, so how do I manage, do I decide how to configure the infrastructure and keep the cost in kind of bounds of what my application is going to be? That is what we can understand over here, considerations that are required for choosing and adapting a foundation model. Which model to choose, how do I adapt that model, what kind of training infrastructure is required for adapting the model, choosing the right foundation model for a use case. So if my application is so and so, which foundation model will be beneficial? If my application is something different, which model should I prefer against an existing model? Okay, how do I evaluate and how do I monitor the activity of training, activity of tuning the foundation models for the specific task? Because if without doing evaluation, I won't be able to decide which model is better over the other model. And you know that in foundation model